So today we're going to talk about the 7 signs that your long-term investments are about to hit that compounding explosion. We're going to get into the subtle clues that show your wealth is reaching a kind of critical tipping point. That moment where it starts building on itself with this incredible, almost unstoppable power.
But let's start with a paradox, because the most powerful force in finance, it doesn't begin with some thrilling market ride or a huge lucky break, and this quote kind of nails it. It begins with the quiet, persistent feeling that absolutely nothing is happening. So, why on earth does the beginning of this incredible journey feel so uneventful? It feels totally counterintuitive, right? Well, in this first section, we're going to break down exactly why this quiet, almost boring progress is actually the strongest signal you can possibly get.
It really all comes down to what compounding actually is. It's this process where your earnings start generating their own earnings. Think of it like a 2-stage rocket. Stage 1 is you, just feeding the machine with your own money. Stage 2 is when the machine starts feeding itself. And for a long, long time, all you're going to feel is the effort of stage 1.
And this is the crucial point. That feeling of boredom, that feeling of slow, linear progress, that is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are doing it right. You're fueling the engine. You're laying that foundation, brick by boring brick.
Okay, so let's get into what we're calling the first whispers. These are the subtle early signs that you are absolutely on the right track. So what are those first really easy to miss clues that the compounding engine is finally starting to fire up on its own?
All right, the very first sign. It's directly tied to that feeling of boredom we just talked about. And here's the thing. It isn't a number on a spreadsheet. It's an action. Or maybe more accurately, a consistent lack of action. That's it. It's your ability to just ignore the noise, to automate your contributions, and to just keep going without needing that daily thrill. This discipline, this boring consistency, that is the essential fuel for everything that's about to happen.
Now for sign number 2. This is really the first piece of actual, tangible feedback you're going to get. It's small, for sure, but it's the first time your money gives you this little nod, kind of saying, hey, I'm starting to help out around here.
And this is where you really start to see the shift. Maybe your gains for the year could pay for your Netflix subscription, or your gym membership, or maybe your cell phone bill. Look, it's not life-changing money yet, but it's a profound change in the dynamic. It's the first real proof that this isn't just a savings account anymore. It's an income-generating machine, just in its infancy.
All right, let's jump to the next phase, the momentum shift. This is when your money starts to actually outpace you. This is where those whispers we talked about become more of a noticeable hum. You can start to feel a real change in momentum, and believe me, the numbers get a lot more interesting.
So this brings us to sign number 3. This is the moment you realize another force is now at play. The market's own contribution becomes totally impossible to ignore, even in a pretty short period of time. Think about that for a second. You put in your usual contribution, let's say it's $500, but then you check your statement and you see the balance actually went up by $700. For the very first time, the market's work was visibly greater than your own. Now, it's not going to happen every month, but seeing it happen just once, it changes the whole game. Okay, now we are at sign number 4. And this is where the sheer scale of your portfolio begins to change your entire perspective on money and work. And honestly, this one can be a little unsettling at first.
Your portfolio might go up or down in a single day by an amount that takes you a full 8 hours of hard labor to earn. It's a powerful, if sometimes stomach-churning, indicator that your wealth is now operating on a completely different level than your daily wage.
And here we go, sign number 5. This is the classic milestone, the one people chasing financial independence talk about all the time. This is when the balance of power truly, finally shifts from you to your money.
This is it, the major turning point. It's when you look at your annual earnings and you realize that the growth of your investments actually contributed more to your net worth than your salary did. Your money is now officially working harder than you are.
But as huge as all those other signs are, there is one that's way more of a psychological breakthrough than it is a financial metric. So in this next section, we're going to reveal sign number 6. This is the one that changes your entire relationship with what you thought was possible.
You see, all the previous signs are about numbers. They're about comparing your portfolio to your bills or your contributions or your salary. But this next one, it's different. You ready for it? This is sign number 6. It's the moment every single long-term investor is waiting for, even if they don't know it yet. It is the true explosion of compounding.
What's so interesting here is that this isn't a number, it's a feeling. It's that moment you look at the growth and it genuinely short-circuits your brain. You couldn't have imagined saving that much money in that amount of time, and yet, there it is. The growth has become literally unimaginable.
But reaching sign number 6, that's not the end of the journey. It's really the beginning of a completely new one. In our final section here, the new reality, we're going to explore what life is like after that explosion, because your financial reality has been fundamentally rewritten. Your whole mindset just shifts. Work becomes a choice, not a necessity. Your focus moves away from just earning and saving, and it becomes about stewarding that growth. And you start to measure your wealth not in dollars, but in the time and the freedom it provides you.
And that brings us to the 7th and final sign. You are no longer just compounding. You have achieved compounding velocity. It's like a spaceship finally breaking free of Earth's gravity. It took an immense amount of energy, all those early boring contributions to get here, but now it's in a state of self-sustaining momentum that all that early discipline was building towards.
So, the idea I really want to leave you with is this. The goal isn't just to reach some number. It's to fundamentally change the entire equation of your life. And when you do, when your money is doing all the heavy lifting, it leaves you with one fascinating question to answer. What is the new purpose of your work when the game has completely changed?